Preface. As a Christian and an avid reader of Christian books, I have often wished I had a powerful testimony to share with others, to glorify the Lord and help others find a closer walk with Him as well. But to be willing to have a testimony like that, you must be willing to stare down giants while holding only a sling and a tiny rock with which to slay them. You must be willing to face pain and decline in your natural body each day as you fight to keep your eyes on Jesus and believe for healing, or be willing to live with no steady source of income while you watch God miraculously provide for you again and again. You must believe beyond any shadow of doubt that He is God, and you must trust Him over everything you have been taught in the world. You must be willing to risk everything you hold most dear and all that makes you feel secure. You must be willing, like Peter, to step out of the boat and walk through places not made for walking. You must be willing, like the Israelites, to walk for days and days into a desolate wasteland, carrying nothing but your faith and not knowing how you will feed yourself or your family. You must be willing to stake everything on your faith, to draw the line in the sand and stand firmly on the right side of it. Though you see nothing in the natural to hold you up, when Jesus softly says, "Come," you must be willing to obey Him and take that terrifying step into the dark unknown. I never expected my life would produce anything grand enough to write a book about. I was surprised when the Lord sent me a word through more than one person in 1 week in 2010 that He wanted me to start writing. For months, I prayed and struggled to understand what the book was to be about. What is it you want me to write about, Lord? What can I possibly know enough about to put into a book for you? Finally, late in 2011, the answer came. I want you to tell others about the wilderness. I want you to tell them about how I took care of you there. This book is the story of my journeys through the wilderness, through those desert places where everything is barren and dry. The desert places are not places of comfort. The heat is on and nothing in your life is the same as it was before the desert. But it is there that you will learn more than ever before about yourself and about your God. You must be willing to continue walking in the heat, out of the security of your comfort zone, and stay there when there is nothing solid in your circumstances to stand on as the storms batter you and the enemy does his utmost to terrify you. You have to be willing to lose relationships when people distance themselves from associating with you, when they mock and doubt and think you've lost your mind and then walk away. In the midst of the wilderness, you must take your eyes off the backs of those walking away and the things you may lose, and train your eyes on Jesus and keep saying, "What's the next step, Lord?" You have to know in your heart that Jesus said, "Come," and keep walking in spite of being ridiculed, in spite of being abandoned, in spite of the fear and terror that rise up when nothing around you looks solid enough to plant your feet on. You must wholeheartedly believe in what you are doing and for whom, and keep putting one foot in front of the other until you come out the other side, having passed the test. When the disciples decided to follow Jesus, they risked everything for what they believed. The earliest disciples were businessmen and family men. Without doubt, their friends must have questioned their decision. You know their spouses certainly did, since they were going up against the Pharisees, who had the power to influence others in the community against them, and even had the power to do them harm. But they risked it all for what they knew to be truth, to help spread the news that Jesus was truly the Messiah, the Word made flesh to save the world from its sin and make a way for us all to go to heaven and be with Him for all eternity. In spite of the terror I encountered in my desert experiences, it was then that I learned to trust Him, really trust Him. Trust Him with everything and everyone that is important to me. You learn to trust Him even more when you thought you already did. He will stretch your faith until it can be stretched no more, and then He'll stretch it a little further. Like a rubber band pulled to its limit, you think surely you will break and all will be lost as you cling to Him with every ounce of faith you have inside you. And then He stretches you yet again. The prize that waits at the end of a wilderness walk is priceless, but this walk is not free. Wilderness walking will always cost you something. Often it costs you material things, as we must all lighten our loads to make it up the narrow path. It gets narrower the higher up we go, but it will cost you more than that. It will cost you relationships, it will cost you your dreams, it will cost you your pride, it will cost you your reputation. In the end, it will cost you yourself.